MaryMates.com and call the cleaning experts, Mary Mates, to get your free estimate. Your satisfaction is guaranteed. So relax, it's done.
Hi everybody, Dan Kuntz alongside Jesse Coble from Alpine Air. We're switching from the cold of winter to the heat of summer. That can put a lot of stress in your HVAC unit.
Yeah, it really can, Dan. I would recommend that you get a maintenance. It can catch any potential problems that you might have during the peak of summer. And it's just a good idea to do on all season changes.
Great idea, good advice. Turn to the experts at Carrier and Alpine Air. For heat and air, call Alpine Air. Thanks, Jesse.
Thank you.
The Lake Chelan Rotary Club invites you to experience Cycle Chelan, held June 24th, 2023. Pick your thrill from 4 rides: the Metric Century Challenge, Cycle Divino, the Lake Loop, or the Butte Blast. All profits from Cycle Chelan are used to support student scholarships and other charitable activities of the Lake Chelan Rotary Club. Cycle Chelan 2023, a route for everyone.
And we are back. Happy Monday. Although I can't trust that day. 22nd day of May, 2023. I'm Dan Kuntz, live here from Studio 2 in downtown Wenatchee. This is Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Hope you had a good weekend. The cool down has begun. We set a record high temperature on Friday, hit 91. That broke the old record of 89. Set a new record on Saturday of 92. Saturday night was rather pleasant at Wenatchee Valley's Super Oval. Things calmed down a little bit. Yesterday we only got to 82, and we'll be lucky to get to 70 today. Forecast details are coming up. There's a ridge of low pressure right over basically the border of British Columbia and our state. Of course, low pressure spins counterclockwise and is taking some cool marine air and spilling it right into here. Lots of sunshine, a little breezy today and tomorrow. Then we'll warm right back up again. Everybody wants to know what's the Memorial Day weekend forecast looks like. As of now, pretty nice. Sunshine in mid-80s. I like that. Forecast details are on the way, as is the news. A lot of accidents over the weekend, including a fatality accident on Friday in the Orondo area. We'll have that story as well. Sports, lots of it. Of course, all the preps are now full into the playoff mode. And for Memorial Day weekend, they'll be wrapping up sports when we get back together the Tuesday after Memorial Day. That's it for the prep sports season. So we're getting down to the nitty-gritty, plus highlights of Saturday night's broadcast at the WVSO. We'll have that for you as well. And in the back half of the program, he came back for another visit. Tony Sandoval is the Veterans Service Officer, one of the two for Chelan County. He takes care of all of the veterans who lives in Chelan County, go through all that governmental red tape for whatever the case would be. He's a really good guy. They're rolling out some new programs. Tony will join me in the back half of the program. Don't miss that conversation. I learned a lot, and I'm not very bright. It's 2 minutes after the hour, 54 degrees, a little windy, and here we go with our tour around the valley. Once again, the Columbia River is a little on the dirty side, lots of sediment and silt from the area rivers that, by the way, have now calmed down quite a bit. They peaked over the weekend, and they've gone down both in the height along the banks and in their flow, their cubic feet per second, but they're still running high, and they're still running cold, and there's still water in the spilling up over the banks of the Columbia River at Confluence State Park and at Walla Walla Point Park. So it's up there still, but not as bad as it has been. Beautiful view from our Wenatchee Heights camera. Let's head on up to Cashmere from high atop Hay Canyon, looking down over the northern parts of Cashmere. Beautiful view there. Hello, Cashmere. How you doing? Always a pleasure to see you. Beautiful day there. And the Columbia and the Wenatchee River, as you can see, is cooking pretty good. No surprise there. The Lake Chelan is pretty much filled. They got her down maybe another couple of feet, but at this point, does it really matter? They filled up the lake quite a bit over the last 4 or 5 days, so it's pretty much where it will be now for the rest of the year. They have a few more clouds up in the Chelan area. That is from our McNeil Canyon camera. That is so high up there. It's a super tall tower. It's like 300 feet that we can actually peek over the top of the ridge and look at Lake Chelan. Of course, Chelan proper is tucked behind that ridge. Can't see it. And to the monitor camera we go and look at the orchards doing the job. I like that. Cashmere is off in the distance. Even further still is Peshastin Dryden, and eventually Leavenworth. A little, as you can see, that camera's moving just a little bit because it is quite windy, but a beautiful view from our monitor camera. On a clear day, you can see forever. All of a sudden, I want to break into Robert Goulet music, but I won't do that. We have to pay royalties. So a couple of temperatures will be right around normal here for the next couple of days with a little bit of wind. Not expecting a great deal of cloud cover. Take a look at where you live. This spotlights some areas that we normally don't do a point-by-point forecast. For instance, Chelan and Moses Lake and Omak. So right around normal today, our normal high this time of the year is about 73, 74, a little below that, close to normal on Tuesday. It's going to be a little breezy today, a little breezy tonight, a little breezy on Tuesday, but then that low pressure is going to move in a different location, and we're going to start seeing some sunny and mild temperatures. And boy, if this forecast holds out, we are looking good. After 12 days of seeing our high temperature above normal, 12 in a row, including record-breaking highs, we're back down to the cooler side of things. From the National Weather Service, lots of sunshine, although it's going to be breezy today. Good consistent wind, a northwest wind about 20 miles an hour all day today, with a high near 71. Still a little breezy tonight. It'll start calming down a little bit. Overnight low 47. It's been a long time since we've seen an overnight low in the 40s. I turned off my air conditioner this morning. It looks like I'll be able to keep it off, give it a break for the next couple of days. Not quite as windy on Tuesday. We'll call it breezy. Not quite. It'll be windy today, breezy on Tuesday. A little bit warmer, high of 73. A couple of clouds Tuesday night, no big deal. And then we start the warming process. We'll be near 79 on Wednesday, into the mid-80s with lots of sunshine on Thursday. And Memorial Day weekend right now looks phenomenal. If all of the computer models are in agreement, and they're looking pretty good, we're looking at sunny and warm temperatures for Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Memorial Day. Monday, very consistent. Highs will be in the mid-80s, overnight lows right around 60. That is just about perfect for what should be, I hope, for a lot of folks out there, a 3-day weekend. I could sure use one. It's 6 minutes after the hour. When we come back, your headlines. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life Channel.
I chose a career at Kuntz South because I wanted to help people, and I knew there would be opportunities for growth. I started as a medical assistant, but quickly advanced in my career. I received 5 promotions in only 7 years, 3 of those in management roles. Most organizations don't offer that type of growth. Now, as a career pathway coordinator, I let everyone know. Come join Kuntz South. Come grow with us.
It's Click It RV's lowest price guarantee sale going on now at your neighborhood Click It RV.
Be a winner like me and get the Click It RV.
With 0 down and no payments till September, now is the time to own your dream RV.
Get to Click It RV now. Are you going to be mad, bro?
Get never before deep discounts on trailers, fifth wheels, toy haulers, and motorhomes. Plus the best selection, highest trade-in values ever, and a lifetime warranty. Nobody beats the discounts at Click It RV.
I'm Richard Sherman, and we guarantee it.
On Frontage Road.
What's the best way to attract a wide variety of beautiful birds to your backyard? By offering the birds the right foods in expertly designed bird feeders from Wild Birds Unlimited. Whether you've been feeding the birds for a while or are just getting started, let our backyard bird feeding specialists show you how to add a little joy to your life and make nature a part of every day. Shop now for exclusive bird foods, feeders, hardware, and more. Wild Birds Unlimited. Products designed by experts. Trusted local advice.
Couple of high clouds mixed with sunshine, 54 degrees, right around 70 with quite a bit of wind today. It'll be a little bit warmer, not quite as windy on Tuesday. We transition to warmer weather on Wednesday, sunny and mild right through Memorial Day weekend. That process begins on Thursday. It's 8 minutes after the hour. An Okanagan County man is dead following a head-on collision. This happened Friday afternoon on Highway 2, about a mile south of Orondo. The Washington State Patrol says the 42-year-old driver improperly passed another eastbound vehicle at about 2:40 on Friday afternoon and crashed into an oncoming semi-truck. The truck driver was not injured. Orondo Fire Chief Jim Oatley says the crash caused a heavy fuel spill from the semi, which had to be contained. State troopers say the deceased driver was a Methow resident, but authorities have not yet released his name, pending notification of his family. An accident involving an automobile and a motorcycle in Kashmir Friday night resulted in the motorcyclist being airlifted to Harborview Medical Center in Seattle. According to the Washington State Patrol, 41-year-old Aiken Peterson of Peshastin was riding a 2022 Ducati Street Fighter westbound on Highway 2 near Hay Canyon Road at about 8:45 on Friday night when he collided with a 2013 Kia Optima being driven by 19-year-old Cole Warman, also of Peshastin. Peterson was transported to Central Washington Hospital and then airlifted to Harborview Medical Center with serious injuries. Warman was not injured. That accident is under investigation. A Moses Lake man is headed to federal prison for his part in a methamphetamine sales ring. 30-year-old Urbine Martinez Santa Cruz was sentenced Wednesday to 11.5 years in prison after he pled guilty to conspiracy to distribute meth. Martinez is one of 8 Grant County men indicted in 2021, 5 of whom have since entered guilty pleas. His sentence was identical to that of fellow defendant Cody Roy Flores, who was ordered to prison back in December. Another conspirator, Mario Robert Crittenden, was sentenced in October to 11 years in prison, and Cristobal Garcia was sentenced to 10 years in March. Another defendant, Ismael Ortiz Jr., is due to be sentenced in August. He faces a possible decade in prison. 3 other men, including Jesse Roy Charlton, still await trial. A new mural has popped up in Wenatchee on the south end of town at the Methow Market, which is at 617 Methow Street. That mural is now painted with an array of colorful flowers and a new image of the Lady of Guadalupe. Some finishing touches were being added last week by artist Sarah Haslinger, who also put together the Wenatchee, the downtown mural on the avenue. There was a call for community help last week, and members of the public joined up to help paint. It was a paint by numbers system back on May 13th. We caught up with her, Haslinger, to talk about her work on the Methow Market.
Owners contacted me. They got my info from the downtown mural, and they already had the Lady Guadalupe on the mural, and they had it graffitied on. So they, the owners, the daughter, bought the business from her parents, so she wanted to like revamp the mural, let everybody know that they're still here, but they're kind of having a fresh new start. The art I've been wanting to do is, I'm kind of into community stuff, so I really am seeing that it's bringing cheer and it's actually making an impact, so I'm really happy about that.
And finally, on this Monday, the campus of Wenatchee Valley College played host to Touch a Truck.
We've been doing this for several years. This is a Kids Helping Kids event.
Hi, Corey. We'll get back to her in a minute. Yeah, kids and parents wearing bucket hats, and they had a chance to climb inside the cabs of the big rigs, honk the horn, pretend like they're steering the rig. The event was closed out with a really cool flyover by helicopters. Touch a Truck, of course, is an annual event. It's put on by the Women's Service League of North Central Washington. You just saw board member Corey Batista to talk about Touch a Truck, and now you're going to see her again.
We've been doing this for several years. This is a Kids Helping Kids event, so the money that we raise at this event goes to helping kids in our community. So kids have an opportunity to come and touch trucks, honk horns, as you can hear in the background. We have law enforcement. We have 3 helicopters that landed, a lot of city workers. You name it, you can find it here.
Good to see Touch a Truck went off without a hitch, and that's what's making news. At 12 minutes after the hour, Jefferson and Jordan and the whole news crew will be doing what they do best, gathering the news, disseminating the news, writing the news, and then presenting the news. On television at 5, 6, and 10, and also available on our YouTube page, our Facebook page, and on our homepage, ncwlife.com. We'll get the news posted on the World Wide Web right about 5 o'clock. And at the bottom of your screen is how you can get a hold of us. You can email us, you can go to our Facebook page, drop us a note on the Messenger app, or you can go to our homepage, ncwlife.com, and click on the Contact Us icon. You talk about a whole bunch of sports. I'm going to talk about a whole bunch of sports in 2 minutes. You're watching Wake Up in Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel.
At Washington Trust Bank, can't is a 4-letter word.
I think I'll sell my veggies at the market.
Do you even remember to water the house plants? I do this?
You can do this.
Hey, we need to build a home office. We're adding another bathroom.
I think I'll study programming.
Bro, you even connect your phone to Bluetooth.
We believe you can do whatever you set your mind to, and we'll help you get there. Washington Trust Bank, privately owned, locally invested.
Are you dealing with a pest or weed issue and you just don't know what to do?
We use the best pest control methods approved for areas with kids and pets.
Whether it's rats, mice, ants, or spiders,
or something else altogether, we provide the coaching and solutions you're looking for.
And you can know that your dollars are supporting a local, family-owned and operated business.
Allow us to help you get back to living healthy and pest-free. Harvest Valley Pest Control.
Hi everybody, Dan Kuntz alongside Jesse Coble from Alpine Air. My heat pump there's like steam coming out of it. It's making weird noises. Is this something I need to be concerned about?
No, Dan, that's normal operation. Refrigeration technology steals heat from the outside, transfers it to the inside, and it creates frost on your heat pump. The defrost cycle melts that off, which creates steam and a little bit of noise.
That makes sense. Turn to the experts at Carrier and Alpine Air. For heat and air, call Alpine Air. Thanks, Jesse.
Thank you.
The newest generation of GMC Sierra pickups offer the most advanced technology, the strongest selection of powertrain, and everything else you need to work hard, play hard, and explore the boundaries of the Wenatchee Valley and beyond. Take a look at the latest, most luxurious and durable trucks on the market.
You will see why GMC is not your grandfather's pickup.
You want to bet, kid?
Quarter after the hour, the Mariners wrapped up their 9-game road trip, I should say, with a tough 3-2 loss at Atlanta on Sunday. They only had 3 hits off Brave pitchers. 2 of them were home runs, but it wasn't enough as Atlanta takes 2 of 3 from the Mariners over the weekend.
The Braves off to such an amazing start in these first innings of ball games, and now Olsen down the line. It's fair. Ronald on his horse. He's coming home. 2 batters in, the Braves lead.
Here's Jared Kelnick. And he sends one deep to right. Giddy up, ball, giddy up. Gone, a home run for J.K. and we get a tie ball game.
Yes, sir.
Here at 1-1 for Jared, his 9th home run, RBI number 22.
And he reaches for it, singles into center, and the Braves have the lead back. Olsen scores, it's 2-1. Darno to left center. That ball is back, it's at the track, it's at the wall, and it's gone.
On a first pitch heater homer. And Travis, you can tell, was thinking the same thing. Look where that pitch is, though, Brandon. Down in the zone where he could get extension. Cabby, left field, deep, carry, giddy up, and gone! Jose Caballero, his first big league home run. It's a 3-2 Atlanta lead here in the 8th. Hey now for Jose.
He struck him out. Top shelf. Ball game over. Series over. Braves win.
So after being out of town for a couple of weeks, they are back home tonight. Thank goodness they get to take on Oakland in the first of the 3-game series. First pitch on Root Sports tonight is at 6:40. Speaking of the Athletics, they come into town after being swept by Houston, including Sunday's 2-0 decision. Framber Valdez pitched a complete game 4-hit shutout for the Astros. He has 7 strikeouts as well. Corey Seager had 3 hits, including a 2-run home run, while Marcus Seaman drove in 3 other runs as Texas put up crooked numbers, 13-3 over the Rockies. And Shohei Ohtani didn't get the win, but he did strike out 9 over 6 innings. The Angels and their bullpen did the rest as LA beat Minnesota 4-2. The Mariners, as you see there, find themselves 7 games back at first place Texas in the standings after 46 games. Rough weekend for all but one area baseball team, while things went a little bit better on the softball diamonds. All right, our prep recap, and there's a lot. Moses Lake lost a 1-run heartbreaker in the first round of the state 4A baseball tournament. They lost to Olympia 5-4. Tahoma topped Olympia 5-4. Later, to advance to the Final Four, West Valley also lost their opener by a score of 2-1. Cashmere fell to Cedar Park Christian on Saturday in Camas by a score of 9-1. La Center topped Linden Christian 9-7, but then they lost to Cedar Park Christian in the quarterfinals 6-5. Chelan was bounced from its side of the state 1A tournament with a 5-1 loss to Klahiowa. Klahiowa went on to beat Deer Park 12-3 to reach the Final Four. Tenasket lost a 2-1 heartbreaker in the opening round of the State 2B tournament in Yakima on Saturday. Tri-Cities Prep topped the Panthers 2-0. They advance to the Final Four. Northwest Christian topped Ilwaco in Brewster Saturday 2-0 in the first round of the State 2B tournament. The Bears held off Northwest Christian in the quarterfinals 8-2 to advance to the Final Four. That means a trip to Ephrata Friday for Brewster. They'll take on Tri-Cities Prep in the state semifinals at 7 o'clock. Win or lose, they'll play again on Saturday, either at 1 o'clock for third or fourth place or 7 o'clock for the state championship. Eastmont won its second consecutive district championship Saturday, 5-3 over Moses Lake. Wenatchee season ended 17-0. They lost to West Valley. Then the Mavericks advanced to state with a 9-8 win over the Rams. The Columbia Playfields in Richland will be the site for the state 4A softball tournament this Friday and Saturday. Eastmont will take on Puyallup at 11 a.m. Friday. Moses Lake will take on Richland. Win or lose, both the Wildcats and the Mavericks will play again at 3 o'clock. Cashmere claimed the lone bid to the state 1A softball tournament by winning the District 6 championship Saturday. The Bulldogs beating Cascade 16-1 in the opener. Quincy edged Omak 9-7 to advance to the title game, and then Cashmere won that one 14-3. So for the Bulldogs, they will also play Columbia Playfield in Richland, but their first round game is Thursday afternoon at 3 against Natchez Valley. If they win, they'll take Montesano Friday at 1 o'clock. Brewster joined Okanaga in the State 2B softball tournament after winning their consolation game of the District 6 tournament Friday over Orville, 12-3. The final score. The Bears will play Forks in an opening round game of the State 2B tournament. That's at the Gateway Sports Complex in Yakima, the gateway to Wapato. If they win, they'll take on Warden at 2 o'clock in the quarterfinals. And Okanagan will await the winner between Kittitas and Puyallup in the quarterfinals Friday at 2 o'clock. Elmira Cooley Heartline survived a rather interesting journey through the District 6, 7, and 9 tournament in Franklin Park over the weekend. They lost to Sunnyside Christian Friday, 11-10. They bounced back for a 10-4 win over Republic, and then they fell to DeSales, 10-9. So it was down to the final chance to get to state against Mary Walker, and they won 6-4. So ACH will have another shot at the Irish Friday. First round of the State 1B tournament at noon at the Gateway Sports Complex in Yakima. Win or lose, the Warriors will play either Darrington or Liberty Christian at 4 o'clock. No teams from our area made the Final Four in soccer. Cascade came close. The Kodiaks beat Kingsway Christian Friday 4-0. They took on Highland Saturday after the Scotties knocked off Tenasket, but Highland beat Cascade in the quarterfinals 2-1. Quincy also had their season come to an end on Saturday. They lost to Connell 3-2. Storm clouds loomed on the horizon as race fans gathered at the Wenatchee Valley Super Oval on Saturday night. It didn't rain, but a storm of controversies swirled around the quarter-mile asphalt track as the night drew to a close. With just a couple of laps remaining in the 50-lap main event, it was the Rockstar Energy B-Mods. John Woodring's car lost control, crashed into the wall at the start-finish line. Now, race officials determined that Donovan Stevens was to blame. They black-flagged him. They'd taken him from third place to last place. Greg Rentz and Eric Granstrom with the call right here on the NCW Live channel.
Oh, geez, look out. Ooh, ring in the wall. Into the wall. Let's make sure everybody gets past him cleanly. Holiday goes down.
And they will. Need all the race fans, please back away from the fence. Please back away from the fence.
Woodring.
Climbing out of the car.
I didn't see what happened there. I didn't see anybody contact him from behind. He just lost control and came into the wall here.
Donovan Stevens, the black flag. Not sure what's going on.
So they're trying to send Donovan back to the back of the pack here.
Not sure why.
With 6 laps to go. Now, of course, John Woodring crashed into the wall, but he was not near the front of the pack when that happened. So that was the only thing I could think of is if there was an issue with Donovan Stevens.
They're going to stop the field here.
And Donovan
is going to pull right up and say, what
is going on?
What in the world? Just got word from the tower. Donovan Stevens is being sent to the back for contact with the 4 of John Woodring at the time of the caution. Glenn again to the inside, almost able to make it stick this time. White flag, 1 lap to go. Colby Holiday, big slide, he's around in front of the field.
Great job, everybody avoiding him.
But the caution lights are on.
They're gonna go ahead and checker flag it.
Checker flag is out, and Garrett Evans will win. Garrett Evans has won this Rockstar Energy B-Mod main event. Why were you taking the high side is what people were wondering. The high side typically not where you want to be in the modified. You were making it work. What was it about the high side tonight that was working so well for you guys?
Well, it seemed to kind of fit where my stagger was, and we run spools in these things. It seemed like I could get a good run off the corner. I could drive it in without worrying about pushing up, and I tried the bottom, and it seemed like the outside was better for me.
So the official standings as they finished in the Rockstar Energy B mods: Garrett Evans with the checkered flag, Glenn Knutson was second, Trucker Moore finished third. The rest of the night fairly drama-free, with 3 classes of racing settled at the 1/4 mile track.
Wyatt Flowers is going to take the checkered flag, and that battle for third will heat up through 1 and 2. Anders has it, Ballard wants it. Matthew Anders and Dakota Ballard are going to drag race to the line. Ballard goes full send to the inside. They make contact. More contact. More contact. Ballard is going to get it. Dakota Ballard fights back on the bottom and gets the spot. Wyatt, you just lapped the field.
That was pretty crazy. Never done that before, but I want to thank the Lord above for all the opportunities given me. I want to thank the Steinbergs. Chuck Dazenbrock, they had somebody bring the car down, and the Steinbergs let us keep our car in the hangar, and they let us stay in their camper at their house. And I want to thank all my sponsors. Special thanks to Erica Bills, Angels, Bail Bonds, O'Reilly, Seventh Son, Klebs, a lot more.
3 wide for the lead. Where did Bailey Denton get that run on the inside from? Contact between her and Knuff. More contact. Oh, Kyson Knuff keeps it off the wall. Think it should be smooth sailing from here. We're going to see that battle for third between Cameron Clark and Tommy Craig as they come around. Bailey Denton's going to full send on the high side. Caleb Gill making history at Wenatchee. No breakout at the end. We're good. You just made some history at this track. You're the first driver ever to have a breakout penalty and still come back to win the main event.
Yeah, I was pretty worried when that black flag was waving, and then there was another one, and I thought it was for me too. It was for the 37 car. Glad it wasn't for me.
He's called a bad boy by one of the race fans. Hey, Caleb, first main event win for you. How's that feel?
It feels so good to come out here and win in front of some friends and family and just some fans.
All of a sudden, it's a battle for second. 3-car battle for the final spot on the podium. Evans down to the bottom. He's going to get the 19 on the bottom. They're going to drag race to the line. Spalding's going to try to hold on for second. Brad Arneson is going to win the race. Spalding loose. 3 wide to the line, and Spalding and Raisy get the podium. Real quick, here they come. Brad, you got the win. His daughter Layla coming running in, celebrating their first win of the year. Brad, walk us through that last battle, because you were trying to hold off Eddie, Kyle, and Jay Evans was up there as well.
I seen Jay jump right up in there, and I was going, oh no, come on, count them laps down. So it all worked out.
All right, for the rest of the card, it went something like this. Wyatt Flowers from Palmer, Alaska, claiming his 3rd straight win in the Angel Bell Bonds Bandoleros on Saturday. Caden Steinberg second, Dakota Ballard finished 3rd. Caleb Gill fought off the pack to win the 0 handicap youth roadrunner main event. He got past Maryville's Preston Brandt and Wenatchee's Tommy Craig. And Brad Arneson borrowed his daughter's car, as you just saw, to win the Plum Perfect Roadrunner main event. Second was East Wenatchee's Kyle Spalding. Third went to Soap Lake's Eddie Raisy. Racing returns in a couple of Saturdays on June 3rd. The first ever Wenatchee 200. $20,000 up for grabs. I'm no expert, but that's a lot of money, and those are just some of the games that people are playing at 27 minutes after the hour. For the Obscura holiday, I could have chosen, well, it's Victoria Day for all you people up in Canada. It's a national holiday. Enjoy your day off. It's World Goth Day. It's National Vanilla Pudding Day. It's National Solitaire Day. It's National Craft Distillery Day. But today we celebrate National Maritime Day. And you're going to look at that ship and you go, what is that? Now, it's got sails, but I'm going to tell you about the USS Savannah, the American steamship Savannah, on this date. May 22nd, 1819, became the first steam-driven ship to go across the Atlantic Ocean. It left from the port of Savannah, Georgia, made it all the way across to London, England. Now you go, wait a minute, it's got sails on it. It was a hybrid. It had sails so they could go with the winds, but if they didn't have the winds, they could fire up the steam engines in the cargo hold and keep right on going. The only problem was the steam engines took up half of the cargo hold, and so they didn't make any money, and nobody tried it again until they really perfected the steam engine about 30 years later. But it was the first ever steam-engined ship to cross the Atlantic on this date in 1819. Approximately 90% of all the goods transported in the world are transported by ship. And it's pretty cheap. How much does it cost to ship a can of soda across the globe? About a penny. That ain't bad. The average container ship's engine has 100,000 horsepower. That is a lot. And the International Maritime Organization, they're the folks who set the safety standards, the shipping routes, that kind of stuff. So there is some international overseeing. Nautical terms that we use on a regular basis, terms that began in the maritime industry that now are part of the lexicon of our vocabulary, include feeling blue, pipe down, toe the line, long shot, taken aback, aloof, hunky-dory, spinning a yarn. Sailors used to kill time on the ship by telling tall tales. That's called spinning a yarn. Happy National Maritime Day, courtesy of that ship. It's the bottom of the hour. Today in history, we talk about how dysfunctional the Congress can be. Well, at least the current members of the United States Senate aren't beating each other up on the floor of the Senate with canes. In the lead up to the Civil War on the state in 1856, Charles Sumner of Massachusetts took to the well and talked about how much he hated slavery and how much he hates the Southern way of life. And Preston Brooks of South Carolina took it personally. He whipped out his cane and beat the living crap out of Charles Sumner right there on the floor of the United States Senate. Needless to say, it kind of exposed the polarization of America between the North and the South. Sumner, who got beat up, almost died, became a martyr for the North. Of course, Preston Brooks became a hero for the South. And because he got beat up so bad, Charles Sumner couldn't go back to work. And what did his political enemies do? He said he's a slacker, not coming to work. He's a coward for not going back to the Senate and getting beat up again. They no longer let you, by the way, beat up your fellow senators with canes on the floor of the Senate. Happy birthday to the flying machine. The Wright brothers, Orville and Wilbur Wright, are granted U.S. patent number 821,393 for that. They called it the flying machine. Now, we all know flying today in America on a commercial airline is a royal pain in the butt. You're just treated like cattle. They don't care anymore. The adventure, the romance of flying is gone now. It's been gone since deregulation in the 1980s. Maybe they should bring back the name the flying machine instead of the airplane or the airliner. Maybe that. Come fly to Las Vegas on a flying machine. Adds a little more romance to it. That happened on this date 117 years ago today. There's earthquakes and then there's earthquakes. And this is the 60th anniversary of the strongest earthquake ever measured. Now, obviously, there were extremely strong earthquakes throughout the course of the history of this planet, but this is the strongest one that they actually know how strong it was. The great earthquake in Chile on this date 60 years ago today, 9.5 on the Richter scale, and it lasted 10 minutes. A 10-minute earthquake at 9.5 on the Richter scale. It sent a massive tsunami all the way across the Pacific Ocean. It hit the big island of Hawaii early the next day and killed 61 people all the way to Japan. This was a monster. 35-foot waves. How many people died? They don't know. A 9.5 earthquake for 10 minutes. Yikes. Birthdays, all the great actors say this guy was the best. Spencer Tracy said Sir Laurence Olivier, #1. Humphrey Bogart, Lauren Bacall, all of the great actors all said, we all look up to Sir Laurence Olivier, the English actor, director, and producer, born in the state in 1907. They liked him so much he has 4 Academy Awards, or had them anyway. He's not around. We lost Laurence Olivier quite some time ago. He was a heavenly birthday, born in the state in 1907. The highest-ranking Republican woman in the House of Representatives is Kathy McMorris Rogers, represents the 5th District out of Spokane, has been since she was elected in 2004. She is 54 years old today. And this guy may have claimed to be the greatest male tennis player ever. The numbers pointed out. Novak Djokovic from Serbia is 35 years old, 387 weeks at #1 over 12 years. Nobody's ever done that. He's ended the year as the #1 ranked tennis player in men's singles, a record 7 times, 22 Grand Slam singles titles, and he is the only man to win at least 2 of the Grand Slam titles in singles at least twice. He's won all 4 Grand Slams in singles at least twice. He dominates men's tennis and has been for the last few years. He's 35 today. Going to take a break, got an opinion from Mike Mad Dog McNaughty, and then Tony Sandoval joins me. Tony works at the Chelan County Veterans Service Office. He's a good guy. He does good work and important work. Do not miss that conversation. It's coming up. You're watching Wake Up in Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Live channel.
You are ready to earn your BSN degree, and we know you need a special place to take the next step in your career. You are an engaged learner who needs modern labs and equipment, hands-on support, and small class sizes. You're a busy adventurer who needs trees, mountains, rivers, and trails. As a learner, as a future RN, as an adventurer, find it in the BSN program at Wenatchee Valley College.
Blue Lagoon Pool and Spa, located on South Wenatchee Ave, has the largest selection of spas and swim spas in town. Stay cool this summer in an artesian swim spa and use it all year long. We enjoy helping families reconnect one spa at a time. Hot tubs are proven to improve sleep and decrease arthritis pain. Our passion is water, so please bring us a water sample, and we will help you diagnose your pool or spa water for free. Blue Lagoon Pool and Spa, your pool and spa experts.
Hey, this is Mike Mad Dog McNaughty, and everybody is entitled to my opinion. Now, as we get older and look at retirement, whatever that means, I've got friends that are moving to, like, Florida. And recently, a good friend of mine who's a horse gal, cop I used to work with, bought a small ranch in Tennessee. And people are moving to warmer climates. They're moving to places where their lives are more relaxed for, you know, retirement purposes and that kind of thing. And I think, you know, there is some degree of jealousy in me, but despite the winters, despite the cold, I love Wenatchee, and I don't think I'm ever going to leave. I like being part of a community. I like feeling like I belong. To me, that's worth a lot more than moving to a place where you're always on vacation where the weather might be warmer. Hey, this is Mike Mad Dog McNaughty, and that's my opinion.
Getting ready for the boating season is easy with the help of Bob File Boats and Motors. With marine technology changing fast, the service department stays up to date with the newest developments and factory certifications. They have what it takes to make boating fun and hassle-free for the season. Speaking of hassle-free, now's the time to get your boat ready for summer. Remember that starter that wouldn't start or trailer lights that didn't work? Don't be left on shore. Call Bob File's service department today and get ready for summer fun.
Los bebés nacen aprendiendo. En los primeros años de vida, 1 millón de conexiones neuronales se forman por segundo. El aprendizaje temprano es crítico. El programa de apoyo temprano para niños por medio de NCSD tienen profesionales listos para apoyar familias que tienen preocupación con el desarrollo de sus niños. Proveen recursos, información y apoyo individual en el hogar, en los condados de Chelan, Douglas y Grant. Favor de comunicarse. Los bebés no pueden esperar.
Green Motion e-bikes have rolled out the new line of custom e-bikes. They have 3-way adjustable folding e-bikes and full-size mountain e-bikes. Pedal assist and a throttle makes them a perfect fit for any rider. Green Motion e-bikes, located in the Mills Brothers building.
It has really been a great partnership between Succession and NCW Life. It's not always easy to sit in front of a camera or a microphone, but you guys have made it a really nice process.
Welcome back to the program. It's a rare treat for me indeed when somebody who does the program for the very first time agrees to come back for a second time. That doesn't happen too often. Usually it's like, I'm not doing that thing again. I can tell you that much. But Tony Sandoval is Tony Sandoval. He's a good guy. He's one of the 2 Chelan County VSOs. That stands for Veteran Services Officer. And if you're one of the 5,000 or so veterans who live in Chelan County, if you don't know this guy, you should, because he's there to help you. Welcome back to the program, my friend.
Well, thanks for having me again.
It's good to see you.
You too.
A lot of things going on. And first of all, the last time you were on, did we talk about the big award you got from Governor Inslee a couple of years ago? That was kind of a nice little feather in your cap, or your beard, as the case may be.
Well, the state's very kind. That's what I can say.
Yeah.
I feel it's a rare and wonderful privilege to be able to serve, and you know, they felt like I deserved something for it. That's fine, but you know, I get the gratification from when vets come in and have some success and feel like they've been served and can start healing. So,
and it is a success story.
Yeah.
It's what's going on with you guys and your partners. You don't do a solo.
No, not at all. Trent Mortensen came on full-time as a veteran service officer, a year plus, and we've just been rocking it. Our averages and things like that, I'm not afraid to brag for our office because we work our tails off, but in the last 9 months we did almost $3 million worth of VA disability claims. Our numbers are really good, and the reality is we're serving veterans, so it feels good to have our community respond the way they have.
How does an honorably discharged veteran, be it they 23 years old or 73 years old, that are new to Chelan County, how do they end up on your radar? How do they even know you exist?
Well, a lot of the times we get referrals from, you know, whether it's a website or the VA community-based outpatient clinic, our healthcare providers here in town. They're phenomenal, and we just get referrals or word of mouth. What I think is really important is the community understands what's available to veterans, and we're trying to make a push to get more people to understand that, because their grandpas or their uncles or their brothers, friends, or anybody else served. We all know somebody who served, and you know, that probably means we all know somebody who can't hear anything. So just because it's so notorious to lose hearing or have problems with your hearing from the military. And so, you know, having people refer, you know, we get calls from folks in the community who say, hey, you know, I know this guy and he's a neighbor and he really needs some help, or, okay, give us a name and number, we'll make a call, you know. And friends of friends do really good as referrals. Yep.
A lot of people are moving here to the Wenatchee Valley in Chelan County who are veterans who might not even know your organization exists. I'm sure maybe there's a couple of, hey, this is Tony, Chelan County VSO, welcome to, I understand you're a veteran. If you need help, outreach, if you need whatever it may be, benefits, healthcare, you know, education, whatever, I'm here. That's how you get hold of me, right?
Right. And so the spectrum of stuff we work on is, I literally am learning something new every day. I've been doing this work for over 6 years, and there's something that pops into my head, or a new question or things like this: surviving spouses, cemetery stuff, VA benefits, money, healthcare, education, Department of Defense, you know, so there's just, yesterday I sat down and was working with a grieving surviving spouse. Her husband was World War II. And she pulled out a certificate that stopped being printed in 1950 for a life insurance policy, and then just thought, well, I better brush up on my stuff here. So, and it's the first time I read about that. And so, you know, it's incredible to me how the VA has offered things over so many decades, and what's available to veterans. And I really feel like underneath all the clunky, difficult
red
process,
tape.
Yeah, absolutely, red tape is a chance for veterans, and not only veterans and their families, but a community to kind of heal from this sort of thing. Because, like I said, everybody has somebody or knows somebody who was affected, you know, somehow positively or negatively by a veteran. And so I think we see the results of that, and we're going to keep doing what we do.
How do you, speaking frankly here, there are those who fall through the cracks. I'm speaking of homeless veterans. We know the alarming number of homeless people in our area who are veterans, who, for lack of a better term, either don't want anything to do with it because it brings back bad memories, or they just don't want to have to deal with somebody trying to help them. How do you, homeless veterans, how do you reach out to them, especially if they don't want to be helped?
Right. So, you know, educating them about what's available. Starting with just empathizing, and in that sort of case, I've not been homeless, so I can only sympathize. But you know, Chelan County picked up Sasha Slayman, and she's been working really hard on the housing side of things, and Ron, the new economic developer, and so it's been. Their programs are really, I think they're really going to change the face of what's going on. Scott, who's the head of the Wenatchee Rescue Mission, is a veteran, and he's absolutely the most passionate in this sort of work. And so he's been trying to tell, you know, homeless vets that we exist. There's an organization, Support Services for Veterans and Their Families, which is federal dollars to help homeless veterans, get out of the situations they're in and get into safe, more stable housing. And then we have other programs for financial, assistance and things like that. But I worked with a veteran at the Wenatchee Rescue Mission, a Vietnam veteran who's been in that facility for over 20 years.
Which is 19 too long.
Mm-hmm. And when I had the opportunity to speak with him, what I essentially saw was kind of a broken heart. And, nothing available to him. Whatever happened in Vietnam, sent him in a different direction than a positive one. And he had been struggling ever since. And so we get the rare and wonderful opportunity of saying, hey, do you want to get out of here? And let's make some steps forward.
Does it help you, does it help them when they understand that you served our country, that you served in combat?
Right.
Does that help bridge that gap? Hey, I know too.
A lot of the time, it's not always the war-riddled person who's the homeless, but it really does. I feel it does help just because I can understand and really empathize on that level of having been to a place where I didn't have a memory and I didn't have ambitions and I didn't know what I was going to do and I didn't know who I was for so long, and drinking became something that was really too easy to escape. Thankfully, a program like the Washington Department of Veterans Affairs, the Vet Corps program, came along, and that was my chance to start serving again in Wenatchee Valley College, and things haven't stopped since I began serving. So, I think it's helpful to have that kind of a story behind me. I don't think it's absolutely necessary, because I know other VSOs that are great at what they do that may not have that story, that are just really solid in their education and they can connect with somebody and just accurately say, I think this is the best step forward for you.
And as you mentioned before, dealing with all the different, there's a ton of benefits out there, but going through the morass of stuff can be mind-numbingly difficult, and yet you seem to have been able to work your way through the system and help the other people work their way through the system, which brings us to this digital navigator. This thing was rolled out, what about, help me out.
Just a couple months ago.
Yeah. Late March, early April.
Right. So
this is a great tool,
right,
and long overdue. But this is fantastic. Talk about it.
Right. So the Washington State Department of Veterans Affairs, who is our advocate for veterans, a tax-based program out of the state of Washington, picked up a grant to start serving veterans in rural communities by getting them a computer and a cell phone. Service immediately sit down, talk with an educated provider about how to use your email, passwords, things like this, so they can connect on that sort of a level, so there's some equity in that digital world. The state had a program, they set it up, they came to Wenatchee, we used the Vets Hall, which was fantastic. That place is just a really great reminder of the testament to the hard work that vets do in this area, and we were able to get 24 computers and cell phones into the hands of veterans to be able to start, self-serving in that sort of facet, because if they're working VA healthcare, they can work on a digital or cell phone front. If they are doing education, anything like that. And we saw the entire spectrum of age, from the young veteran all the way to the aged veteran, looking to see if they could capitalize on that program.
Making the trip from rural areas of the county to here to get stuff done sometimes simply isn't feasible.
Right.
But and it's like a hotspot, so as long as you have a cell signal.
The cell phone, as long as it's got the hotspot, you got your email, and that way of connection is really the way the VA wants to go, because it's a direct connection. And our area, bless the folks that are working out in our VA clinic, they really went through. We really suffered through the worst of what it could have been, because not only was our area in Spokane, which we're just a portion of, it's the VA healthcare, they raised their hand and said, hey, we want to help unfurl this Cerner program, the new electronic healthcare program. We'll be the first in the state.
Oh yeah.
And it was an absolute nightmare. And not only was that happening on our level, but on the federal VA level, they were changing their e-benefits and their My Healthy Vet into va.gov. So you got these two different platforms that you're trying to access, and all of a sudden it was a mess. We had veterans not getting their medications, diabetes issues, things like this, and it was really treacherous. And you know what? Our VA clinic, they kick butt. Dr. Becker out there, the head gal, and a phenomenal doctor, she took charge, and she's been fantastic. And I hear so many great things about our CBOC. And you know, lots of veterans are very happy with the service. Yeah.
Do the veterans who qualify and they get their cell phone and their laptop computer, does it have some of the software built in? So if I open up this tab, I can make an appointment to the VA clinic to see my doctor, or I can track this, that, and the other thing, and it's all right there? Right.
There's a lot of waypoints already set, a lot of things on the screen pre-built, that way somebody can get just access. All they got to do is start clicking away. And you know, the Digital Navigator program comes with a, you know, ideally with a person to help as far as that goes. And now I know there's this digital equity program, and there are individuals in the community who are, you know, finding funds to help people continue the education on these platforms. I would prefer that the life, you know, that we used to lead, where there's handshakes and things in the mail, was, you know, that would exist. But in this new world, we have to connect on this platform. And so we're trying to educate more people how to do that, because the turnaround is so much quicker. You know, even for our own office, it's really difficult sometimes to get a phone call through, and I might get some hate mail about that, and that's fine. And that's because I'm literally working with people all day long. And so email becomes wonderful. And if that's not possible, in person happens, and that's where some real, you know, it's a real treat to meet the veterans and the heroes and the families from this community. And that.
Who qualifies for the Digital Navigator? Obviously, the first and foremost is you have to be a veteran, you have to be honorably discharged. Outside of that, how does one qualify?
And actually, the criteria is anything above dishonorable discharge.
Okay.
Right. So that means that if you're under honorable, right.
Okay.
So, and then it's a financial qualification. So if you've got several dependents at home, then you have a good chance of potentially qualifying. And there is, I think, if you had 5 or 6 dependents, it was something like $80,000 was the criteria. Doesn't count your VA disability compensation or things like this. So a lot of people really do meet the criteria. And if it would be helpful, I hope that you can contact our office or look at dva.wa.gov, which is the state website, and you can find out more where the next Digital Navigator program is going to be.
What about spouses and children of veterans? Can they fall? Are they a part of that program, or can they be a part of that program?
Best I know, right? Best I know, it's based in the veteran.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Right. It's a great program.
Yeah. They're doing things all over the state of Washington to help our rural communities to, you know, get access to you know, the digital platform.
You mentioned the Wenatchee Valley Veterans Hall. June 9th is time to roll up your sleeve. June 9th, yes. Roll up your sleeve and get ready to have somebody put a little tube on your arm and let's do some bleeding. Talk about that.
So one of the things we're doing through our Chelan County Veteran Service Office is, my perspective of veterans is that they served once, we served once, and we continue to serve throughout the community in different ways. And I don't think that that service ever stops. I think people need opportunity to serve. I think that there's healing in the community serving, and I think there's a lot of really wonderful things that happen. So we said, hey, listen, let's start building programs based with veterans serving their community again. And we said one of the most important things is, you know, we can be saving lives by giving blood. So I just happened to be giving blood, and I talked to the lady, how do I give blood? And she said, well, I'm volunteering, but I'm the head of, you know, coordinating all this. And she starts to make this happen. Now we want to have a quarterly blood drive at the Vets Hall. And we're hoping to get at least 50 people signed up, just because of the numbers some people can't give and on that day. And we want to have, you know, 35 arms in there giving blood that day. I think it's an opportunity for veterans to, again, serve a community, and also in the way of giving blood, but also as veterans, we're serving our community by hosting that. And the Vets Hall has been a great place for that to be. They love that it's there, and we really want to support them. So if you're interested, you can download the app on your phone, the Rapid Pass, which makes life answering a million questions way easier. And you can show up and you can give back to your community. And
2 more questions, then we'll cut Tony go. There's a big wingding coming up this summer, right? We're hosting something?
Yes. So once again, the Washington State Department of Veterans Affairs is going to be hosting the Serving Those Who Served conference in Wenatchee, August 24th and 25th. This is this two-day event has everyone across the state talking about every sort of veterans benefits, cemetery, VA representatives. We're trying to get Alethea Writing Center there. There's going to be service animals. There's just a multitude of PTSD, TBI, military sexual trauma, all these trainings by all the best in the state. Chelan County is hosting a social networking that evening, and it's free to all. I think they have lunches provided. I mean, it's a great event with all the people that serve the state of Washington for veterans. So if you're interested in learning more, or literally you don't have to be a veteran, just show up, and this is another way to educate yourself, so we can help everybody reintegrate into this community as far as veterans and their spouses, their families go.
I don't think it's any secret that there are communities who do better than others about recognizing and taking care of those who served our country, either in peace or in war. You probably know better than anybody. We do pretty good around here, don't we?
We do.
Wenatchee Valley, Chelan County, Douglas County, state of Washington. If you're a veteran and in need of services that you earned, we got it down pretty good, don't we? There's always room for improvement, but this is
absolutely
we do good, don't we?
Absolutely, and the entire nation is suffering when it comes to mental health providers and healthcare providers, and our VA is forging ahead and working hard. One of the things we did recently was we were trying to get more mental health help through the form of vet centers, which is the federal program to come in for PTSD, and all of our work boiled down to one thing. They were going to consider our community based on the amount of people signed up with the VA healthcare. So we said, well, we have
a skewed number.
I know, very much so, right? Yeah, that's what we said. Is we have these several different counties that equivocate to this many veterans, but you're going to serve us for this many. And so we said, okay, well, we need to do a VA healthcare enrollment campaign. We need to get more people involved. And what people don't understand is that when they raise their hand and they're recognized as a veteran through the VA healthcare, they don't necessarily have to get services, but they're signed up through them, and there are services available. And then, of course, if you want to get a primary care doctor and things like this, now that little clinic has gone from just a few members to 35 plus people out there now, and they are working their tails off. There's some wonderful programs, the home telehealth program where they can reach out to the veteran via phone, check their diabetes numbers and things like this. The home-based primary care where the nurse, the doctor, social worker, physical therapist go to the veteran's home. There's some really wonderful programs. And so if you feel at all you're interested or you would like to sign up, if you don't feel you deserve it, please just let me have a conversation with you. And if you know somebody who's a veteran that's in need, please send them our way too, because what they're doing and what we're trying to get veterans to understand is that when they raise their hand, they're helping their brothers and sisters too. And we need to wave down the state of Washington and the government and say we need more in this rural America for health care.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Tony Sandoval is one of the two Chelan County VSOs. He does good work, and I'm told by my brother he's also a very good neighbor. It's good to see you, my friend.
Thank you.
Anything develops your way, come, you know where to find me.
Absolutely. Thank you, sir.
Thanks for joining me, Tony. Watch Wake Up in Wenatchee Valley. We'll be right back.
Badger Mountain Brewery is your cure for boredom. Jam Night Mondays. Trivia Wednesdays. Live Music Fridays. And Sunday Brunch. There's always something brewing at Badger Mountain, so come join the party.
At Local Myth Pizza, we believe in real food, freshly prepared with only premium ingredients. Our cheeses are imported from Italy. Our sauces, dressings, and even our sausages are made in-house fresh daily. Featuring Northwest craft beers and 30 Chelan Valley wines and ciders. Family fun and amazing food. Eat local, drink local, and be local at Local Myth Pizza.
Come see why Sunset Magazine says you can't beat Local Myth Pizza.
In 1963, Coastal opened its doors. 60 years later, we have you to thank for our continued success, and we're still proud to be just what your country needs.
Today, you'll find everything from pants and boots to fencing, feed, and more. From brands you know and trust like Carhartt, Wrangler, Ariat, Georgia Boot, DeWalt, and Quadrifire. Join the celebration. Stop by, scan the QR code, or enter online to win big prizes. Visit Coastal today or find us online at coastalcountry.com.
All right, back at it here on this Monday, 22nd day of May, 2023. I'm Dan Kuntz, live here from Studio 3 In downtown Wenatchee, 57 degrees. We've warmed up a little bit, about 4 degrees since this show began. We're going to see temperatures a little bit below normal, not a bunch, 2-3 degrees below normal. Today, a little bit warmer on Tuesday. High pressure that dominated our weather gave us, 12 or 13 straight days of very warm temperatures, including record high temperatures over the weekend. That's moved away. It's like over the Midwest right now, over Iowa and Nebraska and Missouri. It's been replaced by upper level low that's spinning around counterclockwise and bringing in some cooler air to our area. So rather quite pleasant. In fact, I did something this morning I haven't done in quite some time. I turned my air conditioner off. Don't need it on right now. I won't for the next couple of days. Going to give it a break because you're going to need it for the weekend. In fact, the Memorial Day weekend looks really nice indeed from the National Weather Service. A little on the windy side today. A sustained wind of about 14 to 20 miles an hour. At times, we'll top off at 71. That's just a little bit below normal. A little on the cool side tonight, 47 for the overnight low. The winds will start dying down. It'll be breezy on Tuesday, not windy. A couple of degrees warmer with a high of 73. And then things get really nice. We'll climb up to close to 80 on Wednesday. And then here we go. Sunshine, mid-80s on Thursday. Sunshine, mid-80s on Friday. Sunshine, mid-80s on Saturday. Sunshine, mid-80s on Sunday for Memorial Day weekend. Right now, it is looking good. And we're out of here. Have yourself a great Monday. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.